Okay, Rob, obviously biggest win of the season on the weekend. Best performance as well?
I suppose in some ways, yes. I mean, I think, you know, I've said the last couple of weeks, we're looking like we're getting up to the speed and the intensity we need to be very competitive in the Premiership, and I think a lot of what happened at the weekend really highlighted that. Well, mentally and physically, we look really sharp and strong. You know, and like I said, it was the sharpness thing that was almost the most pleasing thing, and I think that's just an indicator of the weekend that as things are starting to improve and we're starting to find our feet really, starting to train at the levels of intensity we need, and we're challenging ourselves in the right ways about what we want to achieve on the pitch. And I think what you saw was just a combination of a few good weeks of hard work from the players, but we're also aware that, you know, a lot of things went well for us on the day, and you know, we'll still probably be a little bit disappointed with their showing. So, you know, what we've got to make sure we do is we've got to keep our foot down on the pedal, and we've got to keep driving hard now, because all we're really doing now is re-establishing a good platform for ourselves.
I mean, to what extent is a successful rugby team like having a well-oiled machine?
It's not the be-all and end-all. I mean, you can have a well-oiled machine. I wouldn't have said we weren't a well-oiled machine at the start of the season, but you've got to have the right amount of petrol in it, and you know, you've got to have the right amount of air going in. It's a bit more like you know, what's going through the carburettor. You know, everything else can be in place, all the bits and pieces can be working and running smoothly, but as I said, you know, it's only going to move quickly if you can put your foot on the pedal, and I think, you know, that's a bit more where we are. You know, the bits aren't any different, but as I said, the drive behind it is different.
Obviously 2 perfect games points-wise from the bank of 3. Possibly the most tricky of those 3 coming up at Sale this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, no disrespect to the other 2 teams, but Sale are above them in the league. We probably haven't had the record against Sale that we would like to have, and you know, that's because they're a good side, and you know, and they've got a very good record, particularly at home. And to be fair, the times they've beaten us, they fully deserve to win. I'm not going to take anything away from Sale. So, you know, we know it's going to be a challenge, and what we have to do is make sure that we turn up and give ourselves the best opportunity to win that we can. And first and foremost, that means training well this week, and then turning up in a frame of mind that gives us the opportunity to win.
Is it particularly difficult ground to go to, or is it the team that you're playing that makes it so difficult?
No, I think a lot of it is the way Sale play there. You know, they're a good side. You know, we had it's no tougher a trip than going to Newcastle or some of the other grounds we travel to. You know, as regards the actual distance travelled and the time it takes to get there. But what we have, like I say, what we have to do is we have to get ourselves bang on, and you know, we have to hit the pitch in the right frame of mind, and we have to do the things on the day that possibly deserve we win the game. And as I said before, you know, that's the battle in every game you play, and that's all we focus on this week. We haven't tried to be too clever. We know the things we've been working on over the last few weeks that have been successful for us, and we know we've got to keep ramming those basic things home every week.
How are you looking injury-wise?
Yeah, pretty good. You know, Phil Don was a bit bumped around, but he's a bit bumped around after every game he plays. You know, that's Phil for you. But you know, we don't know how bad he is at the moment. Obviously, it's still early in the week. But other than that, we didn't really pick up too many issues. So you know, we've got a good training group. Jack Knowles getting very, very close now to some involvement. Obviously, Dave Ewers is getting a bit more involvement. Don's had a couple of weeks of full training now. So actually, we're thickening up rather than thinning out. And obviously, our lads like Tom Francis and Murray Lowe, Elvis Tione, Michele Campagnaro are here, you know, are back from international duty and are running around. Nico Matawala is here running around doing his first week of training as well. So, you know, we're getting there squad-wise.
And your first view of Nico and watching training?
Yeah, good. He's looking pretty sharp for a guy. I mean, he hasn't played a lot of rugby in the last 8 or 9 months, and we're actually pretty pleased with how he's turned up. We're going to have to monitor him for a little while. I mean, he's desperate to be on the pitch every minute he can, and you know, we're having to drag him off and just make sure he doesn't overdo it in these first couple of days. But you know, he'll be up and running within a couple of weeks.
And a 9-day break, I think it is, before the European match. Is that good to have such a long time to work between the two?
I'm not so worried about whether it's a long time or not, but I mean, obviously, what we've got to do is get up to Sale and try and get something out of that game, and as I say, merit getting a result there, and then you know, we'll enjoy the long break and the extra bit of training intensity it will give us, because then you know, then we go into a short turnaround before the return trip. So a large part of the training will get done for the 2 weeks. Will have to happen in that 9-day period. But as I said, at this stage, you know, the Europe thing is very much on the back burner for me, and all our focus needs to be on Friday night.
Thank you.